Football Podcast, hosted by me, Bilal Yusuf. Welcome aboard. Hope everybody's doing good. All right, so let's get straight to it. The first question of the day, or topic I should say, is can Baltimore win the AFC? Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. I think they got a good formula going. They got Derrick Henry, who leads the league in rushing. But they are 16th in the league in total passing. So the question is, are their receivers going to step up so they can have a more balanced passing attack? That remains to be seen. As we know throughout the years, Lamar Jackson has improved his passing, but it hasn't been anything that will win them the game. It always has to be the legs, especially when he played Kansas City last year. He tried to force some passes in when he could have ran it. So the question is, do you think the Ravens are going to win on the ground? Another question that stems from that is, can Derrick Henry last the full 16, 17 games running that type of offense? He exploded this last game against the Bills. But is that going to be sustainable? He's 30 years old, spectacular running back, automatic Hall of Famer, no question about it. He still has a lot in the tank, obviously, but is he going to do that throughout the course of the season? Another question is the defense, because we're talking about them winning the AFC East. Let's see. Their defense has allowed 22 points per game, which puts them at 19th in the league. If they're going to be a run-heavy offense, their defense needs to come and step up a little bit more like they did with the Buffalo Bills. If they can duplicate their Buffalo Bills performance, completely shutting out the high-powered Bills offense, then the running formula will work. Just ground and pound, let Lamar rush it, let Derrick Henry rush it. That can take them all the way to the Super Bowl. But if they're giving up 22 points per game, that's going to be a cause for concern. I know we're only approaching week 5, so we got to see how that goes. But it's going to be interesting. I think the Ravens have a great shot. There's a lot of uncertainty surrounding the Chiefs, but of course you can never count them out. Okay, so that leads me to the next topic. Should the Chiefs be worried even though they're 4-0? On paper, yes, I think they should worry because they lost 2 of their top weapons, and Travis Kelce is underperforming. They lost Isaiah Pacheco, and they also lost Rashee Rice. There's no timetable for their return. But guess what? We've seen this before. We've seen the Chiefs face adversity. Remember last year, their receivers couldn't even catch a cold. Now, next thing you know, Patrick Mahomes carries them all the way to the Super Bowl. You can't count them out with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. There's a reason why they're still number 1 in the power rankings, even though they're decimated by injuries. It's simply because they got Patrick Mahomes and they got Andy Reid. You can't count them out. They'll figure out a way to win. But how sustainable is it that they're going to have to keep relying on the magician Patrick Mahomes to keep winning games? It would be nice if they had less injuries, stronger receiving corps. Their defense is okay. Let me see. I think their defense is ranked 7th in the league. Steve Spagnuolo is always doing good on that front. Not too much to worry about the defense. You just have to worry about all the holes on offense. And will Patrick's heroics come through again this year? That remains to be seen, but you definitely can't count them out. So, as I said earlier, on paper you should worry. But with Patrick Mahomes, man, that guy's the baby goat. We ain't gonna call him the GOAT yet. You still got to give it to Brady, but he's the baby GOAT. So, we'll see. The Chiefs, they'll figure it out, in my opinion. All right. So now here's my favorite topic. How good are the Commanders? I'm from the DMV, so I'm a Commanders fan. So I'm definitely happy that we finally got our quarterback. But all bias aside, I think they can compete for the NFC East because there's so much uncertainty there. You got the Cowboys, who are the Cowboys. What we expect from them, regular season wins, completely tanking in the playoffs. But right now, the way their run defense is, you can't even expect regular success from these people. Who knows? I have no faith in Dak Prescott, especially in the playoffs or competing for the title. But, he's still a solid QB. I don't want to talk too crazy about him. He's a solid QB. But their identity's lost. The Eagles don't know who they are. It looks like they're kind of maybe doing what the Ravens are doing, following a run-heavy offense, trying to rely on Barkley. That could work, but they don't look convincing to me. The Eagles don't look that convincing to me in the NFC East. So with that said, the NFC East is up for grabs. Washington could really take this thing. I'm hoping, I'm praying they could really take it. Their defense is terrible, though. Let's see where their defense is at. All right, so the Washington Commanders are 25th in the league in team defense. So that is a huge concern. Again, it's still only approaching week 5. But so far, they're doing good. They've found a way to win. And even with such a bad defense, you have a superstar quarterback and you have a coach that knows how to play to the quarterback's abilities. Everybody who knows Dan Quinn knows he has developed some great quarterbacks throughout the years. So, as I said earlier, the NFC East is definitely up for grabs. And we'll see what happens. I'm hoping they win. Again, Jayden Daniels is 12th in the league in passing. He also has 3 rushing touchdowns. He is a superstar in the way he performed against Arizona and on Monday night was just spectacular. You got to give him credit. The Commanders finally have their quarterback. And with the NFC East in shambles, there's a good chance that they could win the NFC East. It's a good chance. We'll see. All right. So the next topic. Should the Bears regret taking Caleb Williams over Jayden Daniels? There's a lot to unpack about this situation. You got coaching for the Bears, which obviously isn't that great. Justin Fields said it. He's doing great in Pittsburgh. And, he's not doing great, but he's doing okay. But the Bears coaching is not good. Caleb Williams kind of went in a bad situation. Not to say the Redskins coaching is that great, but Dan Quinn is decent and he knows how to develop quarterbacks. The Bears, they really haven't had good coaching for a while. The franchise hasn't been doing good for a while. And to make things worse, they are in the NFC North. You got the Lions that are tearing it up. You got Green Bay, who I'm pretty sure would love being fully recovered. If he's fully recovered, they're absolutely going to be very competitive. And then you have who else is in the North? You got Green Bay and you got Detroit. And those are the top two teams. Oh, The Vikings. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Hey, yo, check it. They're in a lot of trouble. And you can't really blame Caleb Williams. He is performing terrible. He's first in the league for sacked yards lost per sacked, total yards per sacked per game. And also, he's 30th in the league in overall passing. So he's not doing good. But how much of that is on coaching? How much of that is him being not that good of a player? It's hard to make that comparison. You can't really say, oh, they made a mistake. They should have taken Jayden Daniels. We don't know. That remains to be seen. But he definitely is not living up to the hype. I hope this doesn't turn into another Bryce Young situation. But a lot of people kind of don't like Caleb Williams' attitude. So maybe this can humble him a little bit. But I guarantee you Chicago coaching staff won't make it to the end of the year if this continues. You need a good coach that can develop the quarterback, and then maybe we can make the comparisons. But right now, Jayden Daniels is looking like money. So we'll see. And I just don't see the Bears competing against the Vikings, the Lions, or even the Packers. It's just not going to happen in their conference. And then overall, the NFC, you got the Bucks and their kind of resurgence. You got the Eagles trying to figure themselves out, but they're still better than the Bears. And you have a lot of things to consider. I look for this to be another bad year for the Bears. Coaching staff will get fired. Not to talk bad about them, but we can't really give a fair assessment of Caleb Williams just yet. We can only go by his attitude and his current stats, and it doesn't look too good. But I don't want to count him out yet. He was the number one pick and a Heisman winner for